bad, and it also makes everybody else look bad in the process. So that's kind of what I'm saying. That's so fucked. Yeah, it doesn't seem real. It can't be scripted because it's hard to cry on command. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that people that think that it's okay or whatever, or it is scripted, etc., those kinds of people will not respond to, like, logic or reason. So, like, if you explain that her actually exposing that she had a husband and having this big drama thing happen was done for sympathy to generate people, you know, like, that might donate to her or something like that, I think that immediately goes out the window whenever you look at the angle of there being a man involved. Because now nobody is going to look at Amouranth and consider her plausibly single in any case, in any time in the future. And that's not necessarily a good thing, but I think that the reason why is a good thing, because people aren't going to try to donate to her thinking that they have a chance. So, she did it for content? Yeah, I don't think that she did do it for content. I don't think that's what happened. So, the audio is enough to know that it's abusive. Exactly, yes. And I think that, again, if somebody talked to me like that, I would immediately cut them out of my life. This is, like, not the way a normal person talks. He seems like an unhinged person. You know, she showed, like, her door that was, like, fucked up and some other stuff about it. So it seems like this person probably also makes things physical, even if they're not directly, you know, at her. You know, this person destroys stuff in the house. Most human relationships are asseted style relationships. Well, how do you know that? Like, that's such a weird thing to say, because you don't know any streamers and no streamers know you. So why would you know anything about their relationship? Yeah, I don't understand. Like, how would you have any idea about that? I know tons of streamers, Dick. No, you don't. You're a loser and you're a nobody. And you're just in chat talking shit for no reason. Nobody cares about you. Get out of here. Anyway, so here's the way that I look at this. Whenever I see this happen, I feel like there is a very, very high probability that it's real. Like, I would say a 95 to 99% probability that it is real. And to be honest with you, if somehow this entire fucking thing was fake, this is incredible. She deserves all the success for, you know, all the attention in the world. Like, this would be an incredible fucking act, right? So, yeah, this is an Oscar, exactly. So, yeah, I think that the people that think that it's fake don't think that it's fake for any other reason than they don't like her or they have something against women in general. There's nothing about this that indicates that it's fake to me. Does that make sense? Yeah, is she a bad business decision to fake this? Yes, it is. It's a very bad business decision. And what's this here? If it's fake, there will be no success from it. Yes, there is no success from this. I mean, like, assuming that it never gets found out. If people were found out that it was fake, obviously, like, they'd be mad about that. But in general, I do think that a lot of people are hand-waving this or not taking it seriously because it's Amouranth. I do think that people view Amouranth and, like, other female streamers that do any sort of sexually provocative content, they view them as lesser people. And because they're viewed as lesser people, whenever bad things happen to them, those things are not perceived as being as bad as if they happen to somebody who these groups of people view morally righteous or morally in line. So I think that's really what's happening here, and that's why people are trying to downplay or degrade it or something like that. I saw, like, this like dumb guy who was talking about how he couldn't stop looking at her boobs or something like that. This is just, it's just stupid. It's just stupid shit, and I think that that's the kind of stuff that people do because they don't like the kind of person she is. He's a sociopath? Mo? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that guy seemed like an idiot. I'm pretty sure, like, he had another stupid opinion about gambling, too. I mean, I don't know. He's just a moron, so who cares? That's about it. What would you do in this situation? Have some wisdom? What would I do if I was in this situation? Do you want to know honestly what I would do? I would do exactly what she did. I would do exactly what she did. Because if you want to fuck me over and you want to try to hope that, you know, out of self-preservation, I'm not going to risk something because I'm worried about losing what I have, I absolutely not. Because if somebody is afraid of something, you can control them with that. And that's why, you know, the guy was trying to, you know, like give away all of her money and stuff like that. So yeah, expose the abuser and do it on stream in front of everybody. Always be willing to take the nuclear option with people that want to take advantage of you. Because if you don't, then they'll take advantage of you. So I think that's absolutely the right decision. I would hope that I would do the same thing in her stance. And let's see here. Mizkif, I don't know why, if you don't like Mizkif and you're trying to like, oh, Mizkif is talking about this, like, everybody's gonna be talking about this. It was on Twitch. Everybody is talking about this. This is what happens. Whenever you broadcast something out to the world, people are going to talk about it. That's it. Like, you cannot control the narrative of the way that every single person is going to talk about something after you broadcast it online. It's your choice to broadcast it. She made the conscious decision to broadcast this, and with that, you're going to get a lot of good, and you're going to get some bad too. And that's what happens. So yeah, I mean, if you don't like Mizkif, this isn't the place to talk about it. I don't care. Nobody cares. So let's get back to on topic here. And she also be putting her husband on the spot and blackmailing him and live streaming because everyone will take her side. Remember Amber Turd? Yeah, I mean, there's probably that case. And like, I don't know. Do you think that she cut off her husband's finger and screamed at him and shit on his bed? I don't know. Maybe she did, but I find that to be unlikely. So, yeah, he was blackmailing her. Yeah, exactly. I know that. But, and that's what I'm saying. So, like, this is the same thing as, like, people try to use these cases. And again, this is not a conclusion that was arrived at logically. Like, I would draw a correlation to that if there was a correlation to be made, but there's just simply not. There's no reason to think these two things are related. The way he's screaming isn't normal. No, it's not. This is an unhinged psycho. And I can see why people are worried about her safety after that phone call. The guy seemed like he was completely fucking nuts. No, he's losing control and doesn't know what to do. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I mean, I don't really care. But I just think the guy's a piece of shit. Do you think it's wrong to question things like this if they're acts? And do you feel contacting authorities would have better results as opposed to broadcasting it to the public? That's actually a really good question. So to the second part, I think is easier. Do I feel like contacting the authorities would have better results opposed to broadcasting it to the public? I would argue that broadcasting it to the public is contacting the authorities because now all this stuff is on record and everybody sees it. And I think the fact that it was spontaneous in this way will serve as very good evidence if they ever go to court for divorce. So I do think that it will serve as that, number one. Number two, somebody being a manipulative piece of shit is not necessarily something that they go to jail for. Like, being an asshole to your wife is not something that you're going to go to jail for. You see what I'm saying? So, there's not, it's not that simple. Defamation? This has nothing to do with defamation. Nobody thinks that. Amouranth's not stupid. Her husband's probably not stupid either. Nobody's gonna sue anybody for defamation. Maybe he might do that in order to kind of like out of spite, right? It's like, well, I'm going to burn everything to the ground. Which again, that's how he controls somebody like that, is that, you know, the more that somebody tries to hold on, the more they try to pull away, and by pulling away, they control the narrative. That's the way it goes. And so anyway, yes, I do think that it was the right decision not, and also, how do we know that she hasn't contacted the authorities? How do we don't know this. Also, like with any sort of spousal abuse or something like that, I think that contacting the authorities could also escalate the situation at home. So there are a lot of reasons why people that are in abusive relationships don't contact authorities and don't do what you think that they should do in that situation. It's kind of like a parallel to this, and this isn't a direct parallel, but hopefully you guys can see where I'm coming from, is like whenever, you know, there's like a shooter at some place, or, you know, some like bad thing happens, or some guy's being an asshole, or he's robbing a place, and you always have guys that say, oh, well, if I was there, I would have done this, or I was there, I would have done that. No, you wouldn't. You'd be laying on the floor. Like, it's always easy to say that, yeah, this is what I would do in the situation, but it's different whenever you're in the situation. It's the fucking Mike Tyson quote, everybody's got a plan until they get punched in the mouth. I think it's very easy to sit back in your air-conditioned home with a relatively nice lifestyle and say, hey, this woman who's in an abusive relationship should have acted differently. But the reality is that whenever she's in the situation, she's going to do whatever she thinks is best for her, and she's not in a very good frame of mind. And I think that's important to keep in mind as well. And no one really cares. Live across the street from a coffee shop. People do domestic disturbance every week. How are you still here? Yeah, what do you do? No one cares. No one really cares. How can you say no one really cares? I'm just gonna ban you. I don't want to read you. You're so stupid. Like, this has over 100,000 likes. This whole thing has probably attracted the attention of millions of people. Like, what are you even talking about? Nobody cares. Yeah, I mean, nobody cares about you. Get out of here. I don't know why you're. What are you doing? Anyway, so yeah, rip bozo. Fucking rest in piss. You won't be missed. Get out of here. So listen, I do think that calling into question whether something is fake or not, I think that it's okay to call into question whether something is fake or not if there is a reason to think that it is fake. And I think that also if you can make an argument for a very strong amount of personal gain, I think that you can also maybe say that it's okay to say that something is fake, etc. But I think that randomly saying that things are fake without any evidence or any reasoning behind it has no value at all. This is not good. Obviously, you have freedom of speech. Well, I mean, Alex Jones, right? Obviously not necessarily. But you as a private citizen without a massive platform of people, etc., you have free speech. You can say whatever you want. And we're not debating whether you can or can't say something. It's about whether it's the right or the wrong thing to do. I do think that it's the wrong thing to do, to say that something like this is fake, because there's just simply no evidence for it. And I think that any of the business sense logical arguments for her faking this are not very good ones. I think that they are immediately disprovable with similar circumstances and similar situations in the past, things like YouTube pranks, etc. And I don't think that you can use any logic to say that it was faked on purpose. Money, content, drama, name recognition. Yeah, but you could say that for anything about anyone. So money, content, and drama. Number one, she's probably going to make less money now because people are going to feel like she had a boyfriend or a husband, and so they're not going to give her as much money. Number one. In terms of content, she's not streaming, and she streams every single day, and now she's not. So she's not making money with her stream, and I think that overall this will hurt her image as being a single girl, because in the same way that YouTube streams were, YouTube pranks were, as soon as some people discovered that some of the YouTube pranks were fake, everybody just categorically assumed that all YouTube pranks are fake, and YouTube pranks died on YouTube. And I think the same thing is going to happen with something like Amouranth, is that as soon as people find out that she, you know, theoretically had a husband or whatever, they will always in the future assume that she did and that she does, right? And she's just hiding it from us. And so I don't think that's the case. I think, if you use the logic that's being presented, all of the conclusions are negative for her. And I don't think that she's stupid enough to do something that would just be universally negative. SD Peach admits she's married, doesn't stop people from viewing her. Yeah, and there's a lot of other girls that don't. And remember whenever she did that and then everybody was getting mad about it? Remember that, what was it? there was like a bunch of chatters. I remember whenever that happened, and they were saying negative things about her husband and just like all kinds of like really crazy stuff, man. So I don't think that's the case at all. Nico, well, that's one you really do hope is single, because if she's not, she's probably gonna beat the shit out of him again. Well, that's where the real ones shine, still by her side, by the kind of content she chooses to do in the future. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. I think that, yeah, again, I think this is a legit thing. Absolutely. I was disappointed whenever the greatest freakouts ever became fake. Exactly. And whenever you find out the greatest freakouts ever was fake once, every single time that you watch another one, you will not think that it's as real as you did the first time. And that's what it was. Okay, dude. Well, I mean, Nico Well's a convicted domestic abuser. This is just a fact. Like, I mean, I don't know, like, it's... Yeah, that's what she did. It is what it is. Look it up. Yeah, convicted. Like, we're not talking about, like, accused or something like that. Convicted. So, yeah, it's been proven over and over. Exactly. I doubt it's fake. Oh, I like this for content would absolutely wreck her image and brand. Exactly. And I think that's why it's not the case. I don't blame people for not trusting big streamers. We were scammed and lied to many times before, so it's understandable. I think that it's better for people to not trust big streamers about anything and to just view their lives as content in general. I think that any time that you're trying to go and make it into some sort of like weird relationship, we were scammed. Number one, you weren't being fucking scammed by any of these people because they made you Amouranth never said, any of these girls never say, oh, if you donate money to me, you know, like there's a higher chance of you getting acknowledgement or recognition from me, and, you know, I'm single. I think these people deserve to be taken advantage of, and I think it's good that they're being taken advantage of. I think that people like that are just pathetic, and they deserve to be treated that way. Maybe that's, yeah, it's just a stupid tax, and I have no sympathy for them. I don't care about them. They're just pathetic. And so, yeah, you're not going to get me to fucking try to, oh, they got taken advantage of. No, they're stupid, and they're weird, and that's what they get. Thank God. Fool with your money, you don't deserve your money. Yeah, a fool and his money, we're lucky enough to be together in the first place, man. That's it. Yeah, stupid tax a simp. Exactly. That's what you get, weirdo. Exactly. Warning labels for a reason. So yeah, I think that it's better overall for like the streaming community of simps and weirdos like this to de facto assume that a girl is not single. I think that is 1,000 times more healthy and 1,000 times better than assuming that she is single. Because whenever these guys assume that the girl is single, what's gonna happen is they're gonna go on and they're gonna think that if I do X, Y, or Z thing, I'm gonna have a chance with her. So you hate losers. Some of them, yeah, I do. I don't think that they're worth anything. Yeah, they're just nothing to me. So anything that people do to them or bad that they do to them, I don't really care about them. That's about it. Yeah, I mean, like, maybe that's a mean thing to say, but that's just really the way I feel. Yeah, that's why they're losers. There you go. Did you see Keemstar's take on this? I did. I'm trying to remember what it even was. What was Keemstar? What did Keemstar even say? Oh, that you shouldn't lie to your viewers about being in a relationship. I don't think that's true. I think that also Keemstar didn't really bring this, he's never brought this same energy to any sort of K-pop singer whenever it's just like the de facto culture over there to appear single and available so people are able to simp over you. And I think also he didn't bring that same energy for whenever Adept and XQC were just roommates. So I actually don't think that it has anything to do with lying to your audience. I think that it has everything to do with Keemstar not liking Amouranth and looking for a way to justify that or to somehow make her look like she's in the wrong. It doesn't make any sense because there's no other instance of him saying this whenever it's something that, you know, a person agrees with. There's always times where people lie and they hold things back and they don't like share certain things with their life, etc. Or they share something that's not necessarily true. Now, I'm sure Keemstar himself has done it multiple times. So yeah, I thought that was a stupid opinion. Keemstar should have been canceled years ago, to be honest. You can only be canceled if people stop watching you or you get banned. People still watch Keemstar, and so, you know, that's why he's not canceled. Very bad situation. Bad the clip telling her that he'd be burning a bunch of money in crypto was kind of funny to me, not gonna lie. Yeah, it's just nuts how insane that guy is, man. It's insane. Whether or not the streamer or single is relevant, the content you receive from content will not change. There's virtually no chance of meaningful connection ever formed between a viewer and a streamer. Exactly, which I think is why it's better to cut the cord, you know, as thin as it ever may be. It's better to just cut that cord completely and assume that somebody's in a relationship. That's really what it is. She took $3K from me and told me that she's single. That's not okay. Yeah, I agree. I think that you're a fucking idiot for giving her $3,000. I don't think it's okay at all. You should be ashamed of yourself. You're pathetic. You deserve to lose your money. And hey, don't worry about it. Think of it as like you just paid $3,000 for a life lesson. Now, this might not be the last time or the first time you've learned that lesson, but it's another episode. Yeah, you just got financially dominated. That's what happens, bitch. Wasn't Keem banned from YouTube? He was banned from YouTube and he made a second. The channel he has now is like owned by somebody else and he's just on the channel. Obviously, YouTube doesn't really care that much. They could clearly like ban it again, right? I mean, you have to remember like YouTube's TOS and Twitch's TOS, these are not rules that they have to abide by. They can ban you for whatever they want. So, I mean, they could ban his channel if they wanted to. YouTube clearly doesn't care about Keemstar that much, and so they don't ban him, so they don't feel like his content is that bad. That's clearly what it is. $3K is fucking life-changing, man? Yeah, I know. That's why it's so stupid of him to give it away. Yeah, again, I have no sympathy for stupid people. Just period. I don't have any sympathy for them. I don't think that I don't care about them. They're just pathetic. Yeah. What's this here? Choice? I've had several steps and clicks to send money. Yeah, exactly. What's this here? Let me read the rest of it. Husband just spent that 3K on crypto. Yeah, he just dropped that money into Dogecoin. How does that make you feel? Is that okay for me not to care about people Slicker took money from because it's correct in writing? I think that in general, whenever I look at it, Slicker was taking and getting money from people in what is, to a certain degree, a friendly relationship, and somebody would have assumed that somebody who they are friends with is a, you know, a more reliable person to give money to. It's the whole idea of, in law, it's called a fiduciary relationship, that the person that you're dealing with is going to act in your best interest. And fundamentally, a lot of the cases with Slicker were what I would consider fiduciary relationships, and the relationship with Amouranth is not. So yes, actually there is a very big difference, and if you knew anything about the way this stuff works, you'd understand that. Slicker took money from a cancer patient, way different. And also I think Slicker's a piece of shit too. Right? I mean, yeah, that's also very different as well. She must feel really lonely in a relationship like that. I mean, I don't know. I don't know her. But I'm just talking about it in general. Did Slicker ever get banned? No, he didn't ever get banned. I feel bad for stupid people because they're just born this way. It's like a handicap that makes them feel bad, makes them make bad decisions. No, I think that most stupid people are enabled by other people that make excuses for why somebody else is wrong whenever they engage in bad behavior. It's like, oh, well, you know, it's somebody else's fault that you, you know, you don't do anything all day, or you give all of your money to some online girl thinking that you're going to be able to date her, or you're spending all of your money on sports betting or something stupid like that. And it's always somebody else's fault. They're infantilizing these fucking morons, and they're preventing them from growing. How many of you guys have been a fucking idiot and you had something bad happen to you for being a fucking idiot, and then you stopped being a fucking idiot? But if every time something bad ever happened to you, that people constantly coddled you and, oh, it's okay, the world is so mean. No, bitch. No, bitch. I'm not gonna hear it. By that logic, shouldn't feel bad for Amouranth. It's her fault. She got abused, got taken advantage of. By that logic, bro, you're not even following. Like, don't even, like, you really think that you're funny? That's not even my logic at all. That's not the logic in any circumstance whatsoever. When did I ever say that every bad situation that a person gets into is objectively their fault? I never said that. I said that in a lot of cases, and I think this is a lot of cases, the Amouranth situation is a very, very specific case. I understand, again, yes, by that logic. You don't even understand my logic, so what are you talking about? Why are you here? Yeah, don't put words in my mouth. You're too stupid to even understand what I'm saying. Shut up. First year I was married, I thought my tax return coming in, so I spent my money on a PC. The return never came. Learned the hard way not to spend early with money that I don't have. Exactly. Yeah, there it is. And what's this here? Lady call the police, not Twitch chat. What's chat gonna do? She can't call the police because the guy's not committing a crime. What are the police gonna do? Like, what do you think? They're just gonna, like, he was mean to her, telling her that she has to stream for 16 hours a day, and they're gonna be like, wow, 16 hours a day? Like, well, you can't tell her to do that. He's gonna go to jail. No, that's not gonna happen. Blackmail is a crime? I don't know, but it takes a long time to prove something like that, etc. And I think, is that a fucking actual crime, or is that just a civil suit? I'm not even sure. Yeah, threats are a crime. Yeah, but I mean, does she have evidence of threats like that happening? Also, I think that there's just the other case where whenever you're in a situation like this, you can't expect a person that's in a situation like this to act rationally. I think that it's unfair to expect that, because whenever you're in a situation like this, and this is kind of like the example that I was using with, you know, these guys that have like these big fucking bravado ideas of what they were gonna do whenever the shooter shows up at their Wendy's. You know, the shooter shows up at their fucking grocery store, they're gonna shut him down. No, you're not. Shut up. Everybody always thinks that. Threatening to send a horse is me. This gotta be some kind of crime. Well, I don't know if it is or not. I mean, there's a lot of things that are really, really mean, but they're not crimes. They're not something that somebody is going to go to jail for. Devil's advocate here. Is no one in a relationship? And there are times where you hate each other person and they both go in like crazy? Well, I mean, that's not really devil's advocate, because that's not what's happening. She's not, you both go in like crazy. She's not going in like crazy. If this guy comes out and he has a million clips of her going in like crazy, then yeah, that does muddy the waters a lot, but it didn't happen, and it hasn't happened. And I don't see any reason to assume that it did happen. So, yes, obviously there are relationships where both people are nutballs like this guy is, and they're awful relationships. Oftentimes you see them either in the newspaper whenever one of them kills each other, or on Jerry Springer. But that doesn't necessarily mean that this is what's happening here, and there's no evidence of that in this case. Is Amouranth, what's this here? Is she living in a third world country? What's this here? Let me see if I can find this. It can be interpreted as law of sex trafficking. Yeah, I don't really know. Where's this? Police are very slow too? Yeah, exactly. I think so. I don't know. It's just some fucking stupid message. I didn't get a chance to read it. And dude was clearly manipulating her. Relationship wasn't even, but who knows? Just saw a small part. Yeah, exactly. Family member was threatened all the time by her significant other, witnessed by the same behavior in my life. Cops don't do anything until it happens. Well, yeah, because the cops can't do anything. It's like, you don't want somebody saying that you said something to cause you to go to jail, do you? No, you don't want to have that happen. It's not fair. So it's a very weird situation. Why is she posting this on a live stream? Cringy to say the least. Because she wants it to be made public, and she's sick of being taken. I don't know why there are so many people who don't really understand this. Yeah, it's very surprising. I think that, so there's a number of reasons why I think that she live streamed it. I'll go through these reasons. You guys can tell me if you think it's legit or not. I think one of the reasons is it puts this problem in the face of millions of people, which definitely means that if he was going to retaliate against her in some sort of a physical way, it would be much easier to implicate him as the aggressor. So this basically puts him front and center in front of millions of people that this person is an abuser, this person is an aggressor. Here's an example of it. It's happening right now. So now if Amouranth comes back on with a black eye or something like that, everybody is going to call the fucking police and say, she didn't fall down the stairs, she didn't trip, this guy beat the shit out of her, and you need to investigate it right now. So that's number one. And black eye is, you know, sometimes the best thing that could happen in some of those circumstances. I mean, the reason why you always hear guys talk about stories about their crazy girlfriends. You ever hear girls talk about stories about crazy boyfriends? No, because a lot of them are dead. So that's the facts. And so, yeah, these guys, it's not a joke. It's nothing like that. Oh, I mean, actually, that was a Chris Rock joke, but you see the point that I'm making. And so that's number one. Number two is that I think that Amouranth probably views her success as some form of a, she views her success as some form of a, like a collective effort with her husband, right? And it was obviously a collective effort. Regardless of which proportion was which, I don't really care. It doesn't matter arguing that. But the point is that it was a collective effort. So her damaging that and putting it out in front of everybody is effectively a nuclear option whenever she feels like she's exhausted all other options previously. So she had tried to reason him out of doing certain things that she didn't want to do. He didn't take those things seriously. She had tried to say, hey, I don't want to do this, and he didn't take those things seriously, and he continued to threaten her and make her life worse. So at a certain point, a person reaches a breaking point, and they say, fuck it, it's not worth it anymore. I'm gonna burn it all to the ground. And you know what? I absolutely respect that. I think that's a great idea. So I think those are probably the two main reasons why she made it public, and I think these are legitimate reasons that make sense. Yeah, these are reasons that make a lot of sense. Does anybody disagree with these? I'm confused. If she can throw that he threatened to kill her dogs and horses, could he be jailed though? This alone should be enough.